So like a lot of games got water in them. You know, you got like the boat stealing game. You get Cyberpunk. I don't know. There's some water there. There's you got Subnautica. I don't own that game. I don't know, BioShock. There's some water out there. The forest. Oh, the point being, I want to make water. So bam, look at that. That's a sine wave. The tricky bit here is that the water graphics are done on the GPU, but then on the CPU we gotta separately calculate how high the waves are, so I can have this box floating on top of the waves. That's not too bad because it's just sine waves. That's a pretty easy equation. It's just sine, and then a thing, and then x, sine of x. And then you can just put sine waves on top of the sine waves to get some more interesting waves. But, you know, I don't think we're going to go really far with sine waves, though. There's something called Gerstner waves. Something called Gerstner waves that are used in, like, movies and stuff, apparently. I don't know. So let me try that out real quick. And, By the way, for the buoyancy, I'm slapping some objects around whatever floats, and each of them tracks the wave height where they are, and then applies a buoyant force on the parent object from their position if they're underwater. So I've seen this done in some other projects people have posted, and it seems like a pretty decent solution because, you know, you don't want to be calculating Archimedes' principle and finding like the volume of this part of the object that's under the water and calculating forces that way. And the thing is that now keeping the equations synced up between the GPU and the CPU is a bit trickier because Gerstner waves sort of move the vertices in circles. Like if you look here over on the edge, it's pretty obvious. You see the sine wave just moving the edge up and down, which is pretty simple. But with the Gerstner wave, it's fully moving in a circle. So you have a flotation object, and it's asking, hey, how tall is the wave at some coordinate xz? And I mean, we don't know, because the Gerstner wave equation takes in an xz coordinate and returns a height, but also a new xz. So the xz for the object isn't the same as the xz input to the equation. We want it to match the xz from the output, but that's not. So I don't know. I haven't thought of a way to properly solve for the height for this project. I've just sort of approximated it and said that, you know, the input xz is totally going to be the same as the output xz, which does end up being true at the very top and very bottom of the waves, but along the slope it's not true. So it's not really noticeable here, but you'll definitely be able to see it later on with certain waves that I set up. Also, okay, warning, warning, seasickness alert. You know, it's gonna get really bad. Okay. Oh god. Oh no, make it stop. That's terrible. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay, we got an ocean. Let's put a boat. That's not quite right. It's not quite what I wanted. It really does not want to turn around. So the mistake that I had made is that, so I'm applying forces based off where the flotation objects are, and I was giving the offset between the flotation object and the main object in local coordinates. But the add force method that I'm using expects an offset in global coordinates. So when I turn the boat around, it would calculate the wave heights at the new position, taking into account the rotation, but then when it applied the force, it would apply it at the old position. That doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Now to see if my fix has worked, I've just frozen all the waves to keep it a bit simple. It doesn't seem too bad. I'd say that works. Yeah, this seems fine. Yeah, look here. This is what I was talking about. The positions are right when it's exactly at the peaks and troughs of the waves, but as it goes beyond that. By the way, when I'm debugging, I show the exact position of the flotation objects, and I'm having them sort of go up and down based off of, you know, how much the wave height has changed. This also really demonstrates that the graphics for the water on the GPU is entirely separate from the buoyancy code. So we have these things over there that are floating even though there's no water. So it's entirely unrelated in the code, besides being synced up with the same time variable. Yeah, so the smaller objects follow the shape of the water a lot better than the larger ones. I think that's to be expected though, right? Like the larger objects are interacting with more wave peaks and stuff, so the effect on them is more like the average of all the different waves that are interacting with them. So since they're all rigid bodies, I can easily push the other objects around with my little boat. So thank you, built-in Godot physics. Alright, now just give me a second. I'm gonna slap down some procedurally generated land, and I'm gonna make a boat. I'll add in the first-person player character. I have to be entirely honest with you. I don't think that's how boats are meant to work. Oh no, yeah, that's definitely not what boats are supposed to do. So since I made the player character a rigid body instead of something like a kinematic body that's more standard, the physics interactions are pretty satisfying. Like, I can just jump onto a floating platform, and you know, the force of me landing on it pushes it down into the water, but then because of the buoyancy, it bounces us back up. I think that's pretty nice. And there we go. There's a boat. I don't know. Oh god, I forgot about friction. So that's it. That's Gerstner waves in Godot with some good old buoyancy. Look at them go. It's also pretty fun to just like put random stuff in as the wave parameters. Like look at the boat with these waves. Oh boat, I'm so sorry. Oh, forgive me, boat. Okay, well anyway, thanks for watching. I'm just gonna stay here and try to flip my boat back over. It doesn't seem to be working though. Maybe I'll do a tutorial if people ask for it in the comments. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go over the code again, fix some inefficiencies, and also maybe find a better approximation for the Gerstner wave height on the CPU. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, subscribe for more. Okay, bye.